need was winding down. There wasn't any people meet. And so it was essentially, we got all this equipment. We had people that love working for Sandlot. I was like, Chad, what do you want to do? I wasn't a CEO at that point. I was just kind of helping out on the side. And he said, I always wanted to make hats. And I was like, all right, well, what do we need to do to make hats? And so there's a few pieces of specific machinery that you needed. But essentially I'm like, let's, everything I've been reading as I've been stressing out about this pandemic is you got to find a way to make it an opportunity, not a problem. And so this feels like.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of my conversation with Sandlot Goods. Now, listen, guys, here's what's going to happen. In this episode, we're going to go over my famous not so famous questions, but more importantly, the story behind Sandlot Goods, how it got started, how they've only been making hats for a short period of time, and then we talk about this awesome little toy right here, the yard ball. So, guys, make sure you guys are following them. Go to their website, get their hats. It is great quality. They are doing some amazing work, and it's made here in Kansas City in the U.S. So, guys, without further ado, I'll give you the episode.
How do you, as the CEO of the company, right? And we talked earlier. I want to pull something that you're talking about. Your marketing. You're going to be doing some marketing campaigns and things like that. How do you work with the current platform that we have, is like social media and things like that? How do you connect those two things, your company and social media, to promote Sandlot Goods?
We're trying to find that footing. So I think one key part of the story that we haven't really talked about a ton is the evolution of Sandlot. We've only been making.
It was coming.
Okay, yeah. So we've only been making hats. We've only been making hats for 4 years. We were doing stuff different than that prior to the hat making. So it's kind of a new identity for us. I always tell people we're really good at it and not great at it, and we're just going to keep going until we are great at it. But it's one of those things that we have not found our footing on, like the social media yet. It's always a constant battle because we have this identity crisis that I love, but we're a brand. Like, we're trying to make Sandlot this thing that people come to, and they're, branded hats and sweatshirts, but then we're also a manufacturer. And so we can be just a good, high quality manufacturer for other brands to make their product through. And then how does that all blend together? And so I think that's our constant battle. And the best thing we can do is just take pictures of our product in our warehouse. Yeah, sitting on the sewing machine, sitting on the cutting table, do a walkthrough, show the embroidery machine happening. And so more and more, I think we used to kind of hide the manufacturing piece behind it all and just show good, glitzy pictures of models on our hats. And more, it's like, no, let's just throw the hat down on the table, trim the last thread off of it in the video, and show people that what they're getting put on their head was sewn by this team member, and let them talk about it. So that's really what I want to focus on, is just being ourselves and not worrying about how cool the brand feels on top of that.
It's something I appreciate about your Instagram is that you do show that, like, I'm looking at your webpage right now, and you have, various pictures, right? Obviously you do the model, right? At the LA hat, you got the Kingdom, you got Ohio State, OH, right? And all this other stuff. You have that, but at the same time, I see that you have, like, the store, you have, like the sewing and cutting the last thread on there. And showing the behind the scenes, I think it's such a much important thing sometimes, just because that way they know where it came from, like what it took to make the hat that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, and I want to attract the person that has no idea where our hats are made, doesn't even care where our hats are made. They just love the way they look and the way they feel.
Mm-hmm.
I want that customer. And then I want the customer who's like actually typing in "made in the USA" ball caps. And then they're like, great, I'll buy any hat you guys got because I wanted it to be manufactured in the US. Yep. And I think those are those two things that we're trying to accomplish. That is just like, I don't need to think about it, but just be us and both things will shine, is the goal. But we have a ton of work to do in our social media presence. We've been so focused on manufacturing and that piece of it that it's like, all right, we got to shift gears and let the world know who we are.
Hey, listen, you guys are doing a great job. I mean, especially working with a Kelsey brother. I think that helps a little,
Yeah.
So before we move on to, what I want to talk about also is like the future vision of the company, what you got going on and all that. But, what is your stance on collaborating now with all the brands and things like that? Like, I'm sure that's part of your goal in the future, right? Like, hey, let's work together. Let's come up with something that we can all be proud of.
Yeah, collabs are always tough for me. The team would probably be laughing a little bit because I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant by trade, and so I'm very numbers driven. And oftentimes in my career so far, when the word collab comes up, from a number standpoint, no one really wins. It's all just kind of a split pot, and who does what, and it gets kind of cumbersome. And so my honest answer is I want to do collabs with companies that elevate us. And that's a very selfish approach, to be transparent with you right now. But
sure.
With where we are as a company and so few people know us and how small we are, if someone comes to me with something that I think the brand that I want to do a collab with needs to clearly be bigger and better than us. And then that they're just excited about what we're doing. And then we can go do a collab and put our names together and see what happens from it. I think I would love to be the company one day that is that bigger, better company and wants to find companies to elevate. That's my goal. Right now, that's my CEO approach to collabs. It's not the fun creative answer. That is
no, I get it.
Do anything with anybody, that stuff will happen because we need people to have fun and do cool new stuff. But the barrier of entry to collabs is, are they bigger and better than us?
You know what? I can appreciate that. Obviously, you being the CEO and all that, you're looking at ahead, right? You're not working in the present. You're always working in the future. What's going to happen? That's
the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. But right. Exactly. Easier said than done. What do you see Sandlot Goods in the next, let's say 5-10 years?
So that's a big part of our process is sitting down as a leadership team and looking down the road and working backwards, just setting that 10-year goal, setting that 5-year goal. And then what does that mean for this quarter? What are we going to do this quarter? So we're in line to hit that 10-year goal. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure what we wrote down on paper is a revenue, of between above 15 to 20 million in revenue, which would be, to be clear, massive growth for us. And just growth that supports that. So, like I said, I think we're not all about just the revenue. It's okay. We choose to make things by hand and work with people. So how many people does that mean our team is if we're doing 17 million in revenue in a year? It's a big team. It's a lot of sewing machines. It's a lot of process. And that's what fires me up. That's a big company and we're doing cool things and having an impact on our community. And that's our goal. Staying true to who we are, letting more and more people find out about us. But that's not a massive company in the headwear game. We're still going to be trying to do stuff the way we do it, high quality, take our time and make sure the final product's something we're super proud of. But still in Kansas City, just good, consistent growth, I think is what we're looking for.
Tell me the story of how you guys decided to work with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Yeah, I think that all goes back to Chad and just the baseball roots of what we do. God. And it's just so cool that we're here in town. It's just one of those things that just made too much sense. And so I'll be honest, I wasn't in the building when that agreement started. And so I just know it's one that matters a lot to us. And it's one that we love working with the museum directly. Each one of those hats that sells, they get a piece of that pie, which feels great to us. And there's just so many cool marks. You go through the catalog, the hat you're wearing. There's so many fun things. And if you want to talk about storytelling, we have someone come in the building and like, what's that clown? And it's like, let me tell you about the Negro Leagues. And so you can go down the line and the history. And for me, any brand, retail, if there's a story, you got a good path in front of you. And the Negro Leagues give us a better story than anything we're doing right now. It's just such a gift that they're in our city and that we can go through this catalog and make cool hats to represent it and keep their story alive. I mean, that's what's fun for me is just the names you're throwing out, the pictures, the things that like, as long as we're making hats and using marks, like their stories live on and we can do that through headwear. That's just awesome. I feel like you'd rock. We have some really good cord flat bills, 5-panel cord that just would look good on you.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm looking at every single one of them. They got to, oof, Lord Jesus. There's some nice ones out there, man. So I really do appreciate the care that you guys give it, right? Because that's the one thing, right? Anybody can work with them and that's fine, but like giving in the care and time and dedication that it does take to really make sure that it is done right, in accordance to what the Negro Leagues and what they're doing right now it's truly amazing. So
yeah, we feel we're lucky to have the partnership there. They're awesome. So we just want to keep making good hats and supporting them.
That's amazing. I love it. Love that. All right. Got a couple more questions and then we really will get down into the nitty gritty of like the real stuff, here in a second. So, and then do you foresee yourself expanding into other lines for Sandlot Goods? Because obviously it's something that we haven't talked about, but the yard ball.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this, man, because this is the first thing I bought from you guys, just so you guys know. And
cool. Okay. Nice.
This is the very first thing I bought, and the reason I bought it is because I was looking for something to throw around the house with my daughter.
Perfect.
And it is literally the perfect ball for this. And my wife appreciated it because I don't break things.
That's it. That's it. Including your kid's nose. You're right. I mean, if you
true story.
Yeah. I know my 3 kids have been hit with a yard ball a lot. It's still not fun, maybe, but it's no one's getting bruises. It's a really fun story. I think for me, just being entrepreneurial minded and loving the idea of just how things come about. So I'll give the quickest version I can of how that ball came about. But it the other Made in KC, the company I started.
Sure.
We had just finished repainting one of our cafes, and we took down all the blue tape from masking and we made a big ball out of it.
Yep.
And that was it. We had this ball that was laying around the office, open office, and this thing got thrown around like crazy. When it was time to brainstorm, a new product or whatever it was, we were throwing this blue tape ball. And I was just holding it one day. I'm like, this thing is the perfect weight. It's the perfect softness. We can throw it outside. And I just was kind of like, there's never been a ball that's not a derivative of a sport. It's always baseball, football, you name it. There's never been just a ball for throwing. I mean, obviously there's like cush balls and things like that, but nothing that was made with a lot of intention. And so that was one of my favorite stories to tell about Chad Hickman, our founder, the guy that can make anything. And he was just making leather goods. This was before the hats were really humming. I took him this tape ball and I said, can you make one of these like legit, like something this weight, this softness? And he came back a few days later with a pretty rough looking, but essentially a prototype of what you're holding right there. Yeah. And I was like, this is it. Like this thing's going to blow up. And so we ran a Kickstarter for it. If you're familiar with Kickstarter.
Yep. I am.
Ran the Kickstarter and it just took off on us. I mean, way more than we anticipated. I forget how many we ended up selling through the Kickstarter, but 3,000 or 4,000 balls. And then I was like, all right, well, we now have to hire people to train them to make them, because how Kickstarter works, right? It's crowdfunding. It's the products aren't made yet. If you get funded, you got to make them.
Yeah.
We hired 10 people and set up the shop and started sewing yard balls. So those are sewn by hand in our factory.
I do appreciate the fact that you can customize these.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about it. It's like, oh, it's not just that, you can make this and then be done with it. It's like, no. You can customize each of these, the stitching and all that. And that's super cool.
Yeah. It's just such a simple product. That's what's been so fun for me with it. It's not we're trying to sell some new app or some new tech. It's a ball that you put in your glove box. And it sounds corny, but the one that sits by my front door, the conversations I have with my son as we wait for everyone else to leave for the house, we stand in the front yard and throw that thing back and forth just because it's there. That wouldn't be happening without that ball laying around. And so it's just a cool piece to own. Everyone should have one in their car. And the way you're using it just sits on your desk and you hold one.
All the time during my show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? I have it on my hand, doing the podcast when I'm working, it's always on.
I'm obsessed with it. I think it's such a good product. I love it. It's fun. When you talk to someone that has one and gets it.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
When you don't get it, someone's like, all right, man, it's a ball. Like,
no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
It's more than just
handcrafted leather, awesome thing. So it's been super cool for us. So we peeled it off. It's got its own website now, yardball.com.
Yep.
So it's doing its thing, and we just hired a new yard ball sewer last week because demand's up a little bit. It's been fun.
I'm actually just following them on Instagram right now.
Nice. Yeah, we
Yep.
got some work to do there too.
Oh no, sorry. Listen, I'm a fan, so but I like that though. You're right though, because it is a conversation piece, and my daughter's like, "Hey, Daddy, let's go throw the ball around." I was like, "Let's go!" Right? I mean, she's 6 years old, right? So she's still working on those, working on through catching the ball and things like that, right? And this is a perfect piece for that. And then my friends have, they've come and visited, and I've showed it to them. They're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Let me show you. Let me talk. Let's talk." Like a baseball fan would definitely understand what this is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's got that pop when it hits your hand.
Whoa, yeah,
it's fun. I take some with me when we go to the park. I'll take an extra couple with me because I'll see a dad with like a 5-year-old trying to throw a football, and it's not working because the kid can't throw a football. So I'm like, here, try this out, and it just works. It just works.
Marketing right there, grassroots marketing right there, my friend. That's amazing. I like that.
It's good.
That's awesome. So, is there anything?
Yeah, I think the main thing, I just love the story of how I got the hats as a company. So
yeah.
So Sandlot Goods, like I said, even when Made in KC got involved in 2019, they were making leather goods, and we still make some of the best leather goods out there, in my opinion. But 2020, Made in KC, pandemic hit, everything closed, shut everything down, and it was just like, we're small business owners and just a weird, uncertain world. And Chad got on the phone with me. I have 2 business partners at Made in KC and some other business partners. And he's like, "Hey, I think we can sew some simple face masks together." And, we're all sitting at home just like stressing out. We're like, "Let's go." What can we do?
Yeah.
And so Chad prototyped some face masks, and then, demand just skyrocketed for face masks. And so we were making these simple face masks, and we started getting more machinery and hiring people, and we were the only people in the world that are hiring at that moment. And so we went from a very small group of leather workers to, I think at its peak, we had 70 team members in this pretty small 6,000 square foot space, and some were sewing from home, making face masks. And I think when it was all said and done, as the need for face masks wound down, we had made 800,000 or more pieces of PPE through this team, and we were paying employees, and we were getting face masks to schools and hospitals that needed them, solving problems. And Chad and one of our other business partners, Adam Pfeiffer, were the ones running the show, and it was just awesome. And so need was winding down. There wasn't any people meet, and so it was essentially, we got all this equipment. We had people that love working for Sandlot. I was like, "Chad, what do you want to do?" I wasn't a CEO at that point. I was just kind of helping out on the side. And he said, "I always wanted to make hats." And I was like, "All right, well, what do we need to do to make hats?" And so there's a few pieces of specific machinery that you needed. But essentially, I'm like, let's, everything I've been reading as I've been stressing out about this pandemic is you got to find a way to make it an opportunity, not a problem. And so this feels like that pivot for Sandlot. Let's go. And so ordered a few pieces of equipment, and they started making some test hats in early 2021, I'd say. So that's how it started. Quickly started making more, getting better at it, constantly improving. And that's what we're super young. We're a very young hat manufacturer, but that's what we do now. So primarily the vast majority of our revenues come from hat sales, and then a few other soft goods, but that was the genesis of what we're doing now.
That's cool. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Just the fact that, like, you just took an opportunity, instead of just like, "All right, we're done, shut down, we're done."
Yeah, exactly. Let's just everyone go back to what they're doing. Is like, hold on a second. We can hold on to something here if we want. And it's, no one asks us to start making hats. And that's kind of the challenge, is we just started making hats. So now we're going to spread the word.
Yeah. What was the first silhouettes that you guys made regarding, when you guys started making hats?
So the silhouette you're making, the vintage flat bill, was the first hat we went to. So we're not shy about it. Ebbets was a hat manufacturer that we'd always looked up to, and they did a lot of vintage flat bills and some other hats that Chad was just obsessed with. And so definitely looked to them for inspiration. But then we knew we needed the basic dad hat to be involved, and just wanted to be another hat manufacturer doing things in a cool way. Then get some new materials involved, get some different logos involved, and really kind of make it our own.
Any other that you're looking forward to? Obviously, you work with Negro Leagues Baseball, but like any other sports that you guys are looking to get into in the future, as far as you guys are Sandlot Goods?
Yeah, so I think we have a few opportunities coming up. I mean, to be honest with you, I think NFL licensing would be just the coolest thing ever. I think getting official teams on American-made ball caps would be a really cool, story. I hope that's in our future. It's going to take a long time. It's a big commitment, big investment. I don't think we're there yet from an awareness standpoint. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing and grow a fan base. And hopefully, if we get released some officially licensed NFL, and then I think the goal that Chad's always just throwing out there is like the big, crazy, hairy, audacious goal is MLB players wearing Sandlot hats on the field.
Listen, I got there's some minor league teams that would love some of this stuff. I'm telling you.
I think the one giant step we need to take is doing some fitted hats. So, everything we do is adjustable, and I know on the field everyone's wearing fitted, and so. Any step we can take towards that goal for Chad, I think would be the coolest thing ever. But
even if you make fashion minor league or major league, whatever, right? And fashion, people would gravitate towards that stuff like hotcakes. You know what I mean? I think that's something cool that you guys would definitely would succeed in that.
Cool.
The fitted, woohoo, that'll be cool.
That's next step. It's a whole new ball game with keeping different inventories of sizes and things like that. But it'll be in our future, I'm sure.
Love it. All right, my friend, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So this is the very first question that I ask everybody when I'm asking this, right? We're getting into my famous, not so famous question here. When you go to a ball game, right? You're going to a ballpark. Are you a Kansas City Royals fan?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan. So, we're in the same division. We'll talk.
There we go.
Okay. But you're going into the ballpark, right? Which, by the way, you guys have a gorgeous ballpark. It is such a cool ballpark there. I love it.
Thank you.
What is your food and your drink of choice?
Food and drink of choice at the ball. So we're big tailgaters here in Kansas City. We'll throw the yard ball. You're talking about in the parking lot beforehand, or once I get inside?
Man. Like, you guys really are tailgaters over there.
Yeah.
Like in Cleveland, we have the muni lot when everybody goes for like football games.
Okay.
But you guys tailgate for baseball games, which is awesome.
Sure. And there's no better place to throw a yard ball than in Kauffman Stadium's parking lot. So I'd say my answer is without a doubt, I'd want a Boulevard Brewing, Kansas City Brewery. They do a Cosmic IPA, the Space Camper. So I want a Space Camper beer in my hand and just a brat with some barbecue sauce, throwing a yard ball around.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I like that. That's not bad at all. My friend Donnie will tell you he loves the IPAs. So we'll go with that. All right.
There you go.
What's your spirit animal?
Oh, wow. Spirit animal.
Oh, yeah.
My kids all have spirit animals.
Don't they?
Yeah, they do. They gravitate to them, but I don't think we ever got to me as my spirit animal. I think for some certain special reasons, the fox has been an animal that's been pretty big deal to me and my family the past few years. It's kind of representing someone that passed away, and it more represents them, but I think more and more kind of represents all of us. Just an intelligent fox that can be kind and kind of live their own life. So I'll go with fox just because I have a better answer, and
I like that.
Yeah,
there's no wrong answers here. So
I love it.
All right, if you could have any wild animal as a pet, what would it be?
Any wild animal. Man, big cats are just so fun to watch, the tigers and lions and stuff like that. But any wild, all right, I'll go crazy. I'd want a giant aquarium that's got dolphins in it.
Dude, that'd be cool.
That'd be sweet. You get the whole setup with it and everything, it's not just in your backyard. And, you feel like they'd be fun and playful to hang out with. So yeah.
Well, because they're super smart animals. So
that's super smart. They could get some stuff done for us. So yeah, we'll go with dolphins.
I like it. What was your favorite cereal growing up as a kid?
Ooh, favorite cereal. It's funny now with my kids doing their thing. They're working through some Cinnamon Toast Crunch right now.
Dude, we got so many here. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
We got Rice Krispies. We got the Cinnamon Crunch. Or we have a Captain Crunch here. We have every single one that you can think of.
I think I always gravitated to Lucky Charms. It wasn't in the house often, and when it was just
same.
Couldn't get enough of it. So
mine was Captain Crunch because I was like, it wasn't always around, but when it was, man, did we make it count?
Get the big bowls out.
For real. Okay, favorite school subject.
That one's pretty easy. I was a math guy. I loved math. It was my thing, and went into accounting, and after that, which it's pretty boring math a lot of the time, but it's math focused. So yeah, math was my go-to.
Better you than me, I'm telling you. What was the last movie you watched?
Oh man, I don't watch a ton of movies, but recently, last movie we would have watched on our TV would have been.
Do you guys have that Disney?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a kids movie, so I'm trying to think of something besides a kids movie that we would have watched recently. But it definitely would have been a kids movie. I think. Moana has been flying around our house a lot recently, so
yeah.
Like Moana was probably the last movie that I took in. I'm not complaining.
No, I love it, dude. I'm all about Disney movies. I love them. But the last one that we just literally saw it tonight, Disenchanted. It's like the sequel to Enchanted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
My daughter loves it.
All right.
All the singing.
Yeah. Oh, I know what the actual answer is. As you just said that, and it was awesome. It was The Three Ninjas with my son.
What?
It was nuts. He hadn't seen it, and he's 7 years old. I'm like, Tuck, you're gonna love this movie. And sure enough, he was obsessed. And it's there's things that would never be in movies today that were in that movie. I'm like, you can't really say that anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. But
I actually follow one of the guys on Instagram, I think. One of the original Three Ninjas. Yeah, it's like the youngest kid.
Yeah, it was Three Ninjas, and I loved every minute of it. It was so fun.
Wow. Yeah. You just took me back there with that one. I like that. All right. Here's a philosophical question for you. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat an animal cracker?
I'd like to think if I was a vegetarian, I'd cut out the animal crackers too, just on principle alone.
Just on principle. I like it.
Just to throw people off. Like, I can't eat that.
Oh, it's an animal. Don't you see it?
Keep that away from me.
It's a bear.
How rude.
Right. Favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm boring. I'm not chocolate, but if there can be chunks of brownie or something in there, that's my go-to.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, a couple more, and then I get you out of here.
You're great.
All right, bungee jumping or skydiving?
I would do both. Haven't done either, but skydiving. I think I'd be terrified. Don't get me wrong. That's why I would love it. I think I'd go for it.
Since you are someone of a person that does watch a lot of Disney movies, and I'm going to ask you this question: what Disney princess will make the best spy?
Best spy.
And trust me, I've gotten every single answer on this one, so it's
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces here. I mean, if it's context, if Jasmine has access to the flying carpet, then there's a leg up there to sneak around and spy on people.
Because it's quiet, right?
Yeah, she seemed pretty sneaky getting out of the. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jasmine.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, two more here. Favorite TV show growing up?
This is a weird one. Yeah, did you know the show Chips?
Yes.
With the motorcycle cops?
Yes.
Couldn't get enough of it. I watched it like crazy. I don't know why. I just loved it.
I remember Chips. Yeah. I even saw the remake movie. That's okay.
I never saw. Yeah, it didn't suck me in enough because I knew it was like, now it's just this weird thing. I like the speeding chases and stuff. But yeah. I had three older sisters. They'd be watching something normal in the other room, and I'd be watching Chips.
I like that one. All right, last one. Have you ever re-gifted a gift?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Who hasn't?
Like I said, I've got three older sisters, so there's no shame. You get something, I'm like, Kate will love this. I'll package it up.
I'm just going to keep it here and then, move it along.
I'd say there's a group of people that are, at risk of getting a regifted gift, and there's a group of people that I would never do it to. And as long as there's that group, there'll be stuff getting.
Somebody will get something. 100%. Thomas, thank you so much for doing this. This was a blast. I learned a lot about your company. Such a massive fan, just so you know, a massive fan of your company. Where can people find you and the company on social media?
Sandlotgoods.com, and follow us at Sandlot Goods on Instagram. I don't think there's anything tricky with our Instagram handle.
Nope.
Just straight Sandlot Goods, right? Yeah, just making sure so I don't say it wrong on here. So yeah, give us a follow. I want us to get involved more. YouTube, if you're into manufacturing, if you're into cool hats, we're the group to follow. So appreciate it. Just happy to be able to do what we do, and fans like you make it doable. So more than happy to be here, and appreciate you.
Fans like me who definitely will be more than happy to spend the money on your company. And make sure you guys are following the Data Chronicles on all socials. I'm also on YouTube. This episode will also air on video on YouTube, and as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time, the Data Chronicles Sports Show, where we talk all things sports, and then obviously we also talk hats. So we'll see you guys then, and thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Kelly Robinson, the Minor League Nerd. My YouTube channel explores the history of minor league baseball teams. More than just stats, we delve into team lineage, sharing stories from current franchises to obscure one-year wonders.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean. And I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick
and Corey
of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball, so get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series, and in every episode I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.